stuff like that. It's like so you start realizing like, because children are innocent. They don't understand the dynamics of race and all that. It's like you're taught that. So, I started to realize like, hey, I'm not, something's different. Then when I'm with my black friends, it's a lack of respect there. It's a oh, you a white boy. Or, they want to test you, thinking you a punk or something like that, I realized with my white friends, there was nothing you could do to get them to look at you different. You always gonna be black. With your black friends, you knock a couple people out, and there's a certain type of respect there.
Yeah.
It's a fucked up culture to be in, but it's like, once they realize like, okay, this nigga with the shits, then there's a sort of admiration there.
Yeah.
And I kind of fell in line with that.
All right, here we go. Yo, what up, though? Mr. Silky Slim in the building. What's good?
What's going on with you?
Hey, man, I'm glad to have you, man.
Man, I appreciate you having me. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all, it's feel good to be around ism.
Yeah.
Because I kind of crown myself the greatest trick of all times. So
the greatest trick of all time.
The greatest trick of all times, man.
I'm going to have to interview you next on that one.
Hey, there we go, man. Because, when you get around P's, and then sometimes I get a chance to interview hoes. Like I got one I'm going to interview tonight, straight off the blade. I guess she lost her P or whatever. Mm-hmm. And, she talking about, I watch her post on like Instagram.
He passed away or she lost him?
Well, I think one passed away and one they just split up, I guess. Oh. So, she posted and I missed the blade. So I was like, tonight, man, I'm going to get my soft white underbelly on and get her story. But I feel like if I could get the pimp side, then I can hear the whole side. Then I can find where the discount lie. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So, as a trick, we just try to find out where the discount at.
Oh, this is, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
This is a research piece.
Yeah, it's just a research piece, man. But no, I appreciate you sitting down with me. Definitely a dope artist. You know what I'm saying? Music going crazy. The No Jumper interview with you and Sharp was great. I was taking notes. I said, discount right here. You know what I'm saying? I'll be trying to figure it all out from the trick perspective, man. But give me the upbringing, man. Where you from? What is life from Mr. Silky Slim?
I'm from Palmdale, California. For those of y'all that don't know, because when I'm in LA, everybody know where Palmdale at. But when I'm across the country or something like that, I just have to say it's about 45 minutes north of LA. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So I'm from Palmdale, California. And, I had a decent upbringing. I played sports. I played ball. Everything you could think of. I ran track. I boxed. I, played baseball. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
I was an athlete growing up.
Okay. And now, growing up, did you grow up in like a traditional 2-parent home?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I had both my parents.
And what was your parents like?
Well, my mom, she white. My pops is black. So, I had a unique perspective at the time. You know what I'm saying? And, when I got we moved to Palmdale, I was fairly young, and it was a lot of white people there, so, I didn't grow up really understanding race. Gotcha. Because I had a black, my mom white, my pop's black. So, there was love in the household. So I didn't really understand race and all that, you know what I'm saying, until you start experiencing, racism and things like that. So, that was kind of like my upbringing. They both worked, they was hardworking, and I appreciate them for everything they did. And the way that they, at least, I'm not gonna say at least, but the way they raised me,
Gotcha.
to be a responsible adult. 'Cause I realize a lot of the times, when somebody doesn't have a father in the home, they lack discipline.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of discipline, and that's one thing I'm thankful for. Shout out Pops.
Have you ever heard of Jesse Lee Peterson?
No.
So Jesse Lee Peterson is a controversial pastor from he live out in L.A. Dark-skinned dude, he loved Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. But he says that the reason why black people are doing so bad is because men are being raised by their mothers. And so they have a mother's energy, and that women are naturally evil. and that Satan is their daddy. And so when a man grows up with anger, he has his mother's nature, but when he finds God, he takes on his father's nature and he gets rid of the anger and he's less angry, and that the father is supposed to be ruling over the mom. So in your household, did your father rule over your mom?
He definitely had the last word, but you know, my mom, she had a lot to say so too. It was respect in the home. You know, there was respect. You know, it wasn't the, yes, she did bring him his plate, when he came home. You know, she did do most of the cooking and the cleaning and stuff like that. But she was also very respected, and he relied on her a lot, to help him, with business ventures and other things. That he, my pops, he was a hustler, so he'd always have his hands in something. He worked for a living, but he didn't want to work for nobody.
Gotcha.
So he always was doing this and doing that. And, my mom was a big part of that, helping him, whether it was accountant, whether it was, she played a position,
Gotcha.
and there was a mutual respect there.
Do you feel like your mom obeyed your father?
Obey? I wouldn't use the word obey. She had something to say, she was gonna say it.
Gotcha.
It wasn't to, sit there with your head down and be quiet.
Yeah.
It was, she was gonna speak her mind, and he was gonna have to take that into consideration because she brought a lot to the table.
Gotcha.
Women don't understand a lot of the times. You got to be more than just pretty, and with a nice body and fucking sucking all that shit. If you really bringing something of value to the table, you will be respected. Your opinion will be respected a lot more because, I need this information. If you somebody that have some wisdom about yourself and have some game about yourself, I have to value that opinion. But if all you talking about is this is what I cooked tonight and get the house clean, I could cook myself. I could clean up my goddamn self. You know what I'm saying? The pussy ain't, how many times you gonna hit the pussy before it just becomes like regular? What I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, so it's like, but if you make yourself valuable, if you make yourself valuable, not always monetarily, sometimes it's just, with knowledge. If you make yourself valuable to somebody, they got to respect you more.
No, that's real. Now, you mentioned racism and growing up being a biracial person. Where did you first ever experience racism? Did you ever experience it from your mom's side?
Yeah. I mean, I don't really want to go into some of those stories because family business is family business. But yeah, I mean, and then, it'd be like little things. Like I'd be at my friend's house sometime and, somebody would lose something. Be all white kids around. Somebody would lose something and they come up to me, hey, do you know her? Like, why y'all asking me?
Damn.
You start noticing stuff like that. They parents, oh, your hair is so cool. Stuff like that. It's like, so you start realizing like, because children are innocent. They don't understand the dynamics of race and all that. It's like you're taught that. So, I started to realize like, hey, I'm not, something's different. Then when I'm with my black friends, it's a lack of respect there. It's a, oh, you a white boy. Or, they want to test you, thinking you a punk or something like that, I realized with my white friends, there was nothing you could do to get them to look at you different. You always gonna be black. With your black friends, you knock a couple people out, and there's a certain type of respect there.
Yeah.
It's a fucked up culture
but
to be in, but it's like, once they realize like, okay, this nigga with the shits, then there's a sort of admiration there.
Yeah.
And I kind of fell in line with that.
Now you said you grew up, you was playing sports and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
Was there ever an ambition to take sports to the next level, like collegiate, pro, anything like that?
Well, I ended up getting a football scholarship to Fresno State.
Okay.
I never really wanted to go to the NFL though. I'd rather own the Raiders than play for them. That was always my thinking as a little kid. It was like playing ball was fun. I loved playing, the sport, but I loved playing all sports. But once it became a job, I never wanted to work for nobody. My livelihood is based on me following your instructions and me showing, it's just, I didn't love it enough. I had friends that was on the team and they know the stats of this person and that person. They would know this person's name and what this person did, and I didn't know none. I didn't pay attention to none of that shit. It was like I treated ball like school. When school's out, I didn't go study and shit. That's not, I study what I'm interested in.
Yeah.
But it was like when football was over, it was over. When I'm done with practice, it was over. I wasn't thinking about it until I showed up the next day. And I was just naturally good, so I excelled. And I worked harder than everybody. While I was on the field, I did work hard. I did, push myself and push the people around me. Because I always want to be great in anything I do. But no, I didn't have the passion, the love for the sport to continue.
Got you. No, that makes sense.